All right, so let's get started. So as you can see, I have generated the brief on ChatGPT. I suggest you can do the same as well. So this is the brief. I have extracted all of the points on an Illustrator file. So let's head back into Adobe Illustrator to take a closer look. All right, so now we're back in Illustrator. And as you can see, the name of the brand is Iron District. It's a streetwear brand, and the colors that they want us to choose are black, white, and gray. And the symbols that they want us to take inspiration from are abstract symbols, monograms, industrial elements, or word mark. So word mark is a type of a logo, monogram is a type of a logo as well. So let's get started with the logo design for this. So the first thing that we're going to do is since it says word mark, so they want us to put emphasis on typography. So let's get started by choosing the font first. Okay, so I'm going to select the color over here. Okay, I'm going to type in the name of the brand. Okay, and I'm going to press this. Okay, so Iron District, that's the name of the brand, and I'm just going to alt and drag out a copy of this. Okay, make this slightly bigger. Okay, so that we can work with this. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of elements in this name to make the typography stand out a little bit more. Okay, so first let's create outlines. Right over here you can see create outlines. Okay, or you can go into type and you will see create outlines over here as well. Okay, so I have created the outlines. I'm going to ungroup this like this. Okay, and as you can see, this has been ungrouped. All right, so now I'm going to, from the ruler, drag out guides and put it around the letter O. So next we're going to go on the pencil tool. Okay, and we're just going to draw a shape like this. Okay, and we cannot see this shape, so let's give this a stroke again of black, and let's increase the size of the stroke. Okay, to around 10. I'm going to select this, go on the direct selection tool, and as you can see, it has a lot of anchor points. So we're going to go into object, path, simplify. Okay, to reduce the number of anchor points. So we're going to keep it at 3. 3 is good enough. Okay, and I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to go over here and select it with the direct selection tool. So I'm going to go on the pen tool and make a point right over here, and I'm going to get rid of this one. Okay, and then let's go on the direct selection tool and let's start playing around with this shape. Okay, so like this with the handles, I'm going to start giving it a shape like so. Okay, so we're going to make a different kind of O. Okay, so we are going to just add a little bit of more personality to the typography. Okay, just to give it a little bit more edge. Okay, because if you are just making a simple word mark, okay, so you're going to mostly be working with typography. So I just want to give it a little bit of an edge so that the type looks really fancy. Okay, okay, we're going to keep this right over here, and we're going to get rid of this O. Okay, and we're going to place it in here. Okay, so I'm going to use the arrow keys to get it in the perfect position. All right, and like this you can see I have modified the type. All right, so let's go over here on the I and the O. Okay, so we're going to draw out a small square. Okay, shift X to swap the fill and the stroke. All right, and I'm going to hold shift and rotate it like this. Okay, and let's bring it right over here. Okay, so let's decrease the opacity of this, right, somewhere close to this, and let's zoom in as well. Okay, so right over here, as you can see, And we're going to hold Alt and Shift and decrease the size like so. Okay. And we're going to take this and drag out a copy by holding Alt. We're going to drag out a copy and bring one right over here as well. All right. And we're going to get rid of the one beneath this. Okay. So I'm going to send it to the back like that. Okay. All right. So now I have this eye selected. Okay. So let's release the compound path. So we just have this and I'm going to do this. Okay. And I'm going to bring the opacity of this back and we're going to group these two together. Same over here, I'm going to release the compound path and I'm going to send this square to the back. Okay, so you can send it back using the arrange options right over here. Okay, and I'm going to select this circle and I'm going to get rid of it and bring up the opacity on this. All right, and I'm going to group these two as well and I'm going to group it like so. All right, so now we have modified our type. I'm going to go into view, guides and clear guides. All right. So as you can see, our type has been modified. So let's group it. So first, before grouping it, I just want to make sure that I go into object and expand this. Okay. So now it's been expanded. We're going to go over here. Okay. So first we're going to group this part and then we're going to group this part separately. All right. So now we've grouped both of them. So let's start working on the colors. So for this, since it's a streetwear brand, okay, we're going to choose a little bit of a more colorful. So I'm going to go with pink right over here. So this is a little bit of a faded pink. And let's go with this right over here. Okay. So it's not a bright pink, it's a little bit of a faded pink. And we're going to go with this. So we've got Iron District. Okay, that's the name of the brand and the colors we've chosen. So let's go ahead and draw a rectangle like so. Okay, and bring this right over here. I'm going to go over here in the perspective distort. Okay, and I'm going to make this like so. All right, and then I'm going to alt drag out a copy of this and I'm going to flip it from here. Okay, and I'm going to drag it up like so. All right, and we're going to make sure that these two are aligned towards the center. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and bring the type on top of this. Okay, like so. Okay, so now we're going to change the color of our type. So let's go with this one and we're going to do the same for this as well. So let's bring it on the top and take the color from this like this. Okay, and make sure you place the the letters exactly where you want them. Okay, so I'm going to use my arrow keys to be very precise. Okay, and I'm going to go over here and place this one right over here. Okay, and I'm going to do Control C, Control F. So paste in front. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a blue stroke. Okay, and I'm going to increase the size of the stroke to 10 so that I can see the shape. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in the front. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of the fill. All right, like so. So now I've got this and I've got this. I'm going to go into object, envelope distort, make with top object. And as you can see, the text has been distorted. So I'm going to hold shift and alt to drag it from the center like so. Okay, so that I can put the text in the frame. Okay, I'm going to do the same over here as well. Control C, Control F, and I'm going to give it a stroke so that I can see the shape. Okay, I'm going to give it a 10-point stroke and I'm going to get rid of the fill on this. And again, using arrange or control shift open unclose square bracket, okay, you can bring the shape in front. Okay, I'm going to select both of them, going to object, envelope distort, make with top object. Okay, like this, you can see that this has been distorted. So alt and shift again, and I'm going to decrease the size like this. Okay, and as you can see, our logo has started to come into shape. So I'm going to drag out a copy of this at this point, okay, because I don't want to mess anything up. So I'm going to just, hold shift and decrease the size of this and keep it right over here. Okay, so we've got this. All right. So now for the final touches on this logo. Okay, so I'm going to take this square, and I'm going to draw out a square like this. Okay, and then I'm going to take this polygon, and I'm going to hold shift and draw out a polygon, and I'm going to decrease the number of sides to 3 so that it becomes a triangle. Okay, and let's resize the triangle. Okay, so like so. Okay, so let's zoom in further just to get a better look at it. All right, so we've got our two shapes. Okay, I'm going to unite them with the pathfinder. Okay, and I'm going to choose this pink right over here. So we're going to go with this back shape. I'm going to press Control C, Control F, bring it to the front like this. Okay, arrange. So you can go into arrange, bring it to the front, or you can go into object, arrange, and you will see the shortcuts right over here. Okay, so Control Shift plus the open or close square brackets, you can arrange them like this. Okay, so now with this shape, you're going to select this shape, go into object, path, and offset path, and I put it at 10 pixels. So you can put it at 10 pixels as well. Okay, so I've got this. I'm sorry, I'm going to take the offset path shape. Okay, and I'm going to select this, and we're going to go on to pathfinder minus front. Okay, and as you can see, this is it has been cut out precisely at the angle of the shape. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this one. All right. Okay, so our top shape has been done. So let's start working on the bottom one. So the bottom one as well, we're going to go and draw out a rectangle like so. Okay, and I'm going to use the smart guides to make sure that the rectangle is of the perfect size. Okay, like this. And we're going to repeat the same process. I'm going to go over here on the shape, Control C, Control F to paste in front, and Control Shift square bracket, open square bracket, close square bracket. Okay, you can use these to send the shape back or front. Okay, and we're going to go into object, path, offset path, and 10 pixel. We're going to offset it. Okay, so we're going to take this offset shape, take this rectangle, and minus front. Okay, so like this at the bottom as well, it has been cut out precisely at the same angle. I'm going to take all of this and group it together. Okay, so this is our logo. Okay, ready right over here for the streetwear brand. So this, I got the inspiration for this logo from uh, street signs. Okay, so Iron District, I looked up, I did a little bit of research and looked up street signs. So I got the inspiration for this logo from a street sign. So Iron District, it goes with the name. So for your logos as well, I suggest you draw inspiration, do your own research before you actually start making the logo. Okay, to take inspiration from something and see how you can design your logo. So this is all for today. I hope you like this video. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you do not miss out on any of my future updates. And thank you so much for watching.